Hey everybody, thanks for showing up again today. I've got a whole bunch of things done. I've got the ZX chassis stripped right out, so I'm ready to start installing pieces back on this. I've got the start of the tunnel extension here, ready to go on. So before I do anything else, I got to strip some of these brackets out. I need to clean up the inside of this tunnel because I'm going to put some Teflon tape in here, and hopefully it's going to keep the snow from building up and adding that extra weight when I'm out riding. So that's the mission for today. I want to get this tunnel extension almost done. Once that's on, then we have to measure up what I'm going to do for the sides and then clean all that up and put the running boards on and keep moving on. We're rolling along pretty good here, but you know what? These things just take time and it's got to be done right. Let's get on it. I'll keep that for some other project. I never use a wrench on these. I just put them on by hand, lock the wheel, and give everything a little turn there. That's it. So I took out the old Rev Shorty cooler that was in there. I'm going to trim up the sides of the tunnel. This is going to basically cap that big hole. And then I'm going to put that Van Amberg cooler that I have, that big U cooler, it's going to go in here. We're going to kink it up a little bit at the back. Now this here we already kinked up. It's more of an angle than what I'm going to use, so I'll just kick it back down a little bit. And I'll trim it up, make sure it fits all in there. But now we need to cut some excess metal off the sides here. Now some of you didn't want me eyeballing anymore, so I'm going to use a straight edge. So I'm going to leave a bit of a lip on here, that way it'll be still nice and rigid. Remove this bracket now. Now that I know where it has to go, now I can put my Teflon tape inside, put the bracket back over top of it, and then I can drill a hole and put that back into place. So I'm going to use this Sled Bright AlumaClean from swabbies.ca. It cleans up this aluminum very, very well with very little effort. It's amazing actually how it works. You guys have seen the videos. This is going to clean up any grease, anything on there that we don't like. So this is the tape. It's actually not Teflon, it's some kind of UMHVV or whatever they call that. It's very, very slippery. So I'm going to put this, measure this up. I'm going to put this on before I put any of the brackets on. That way it's going to be nice and flat to the tunnel, cover over some of the holes. You know, this is just an experiment for me. I just want to see if this will keep that snow off the tunnel. Can't wait to see how it works. Wow, that stuff is sticky. Wow, that stuff is sticky. There's no going back on that. No pulling that off. Well, that's a little cleaner than the other side. Did a better job there. I'm not too good with adhesives. All right. Now make sure you use stainless steel rivets when you're doing this, because you know what, on that ZX chassis I noticed that most of the aluminum rivets that I used came loose. So what I'm doing is this. The tunnel extension is the same width as this tunnel, outside to outside, as you can see. It's like that on both sides. What I'm going to do is, once we get our correct angle measured up, I'm going to build a custom side piece that comes up. And obviously I'm going to notch this out however I want it. It's not going to look like that. It looks a little silly. Then I'll send it out for water cutting. Can't forget to reinstall my brackets, as we'll do that now. Punch my pilot holes. This is all riveted in. Now I've got to get this ready for my Van Amberg cooler. You know, ideally I want the cooler back as far as I can get it, but this tank doesn't have the routing for the lines underneath it. So that's just not going to work, and I can't run them down the sides, and I don't want to run them on the inside of the tunnel along the sides. So this is just going to have to work the old-fashioned way. We have to figure out where it needs the bend and where it comes out in front of the tunnel here. My only concern with installing this Van Amberg cooler is where the inlet and outlet are. On the Skidoo, they're right about here. And I want to make sure that if I put my Van Amberg cooler in, the other inlet or outlet isn't too far over this way, because it won't fit underneath the fuel tank. So that's where it goes to, and right about there. Outside, outside. So that means that I'm going to have to pull my cooler over to this side a little bit, which isn't a big deal. Doesn't necessarily have to be centered. I'm going to put it right about there. That should give me enough room. Let me see, put this tank on there. Before I throw this in the press and bend it for this angle here, I'm going to give Van Amberg a call, make sure that it's okay to bend this one, and just see what kind of advice they have for me when bending this. I don't want to screw this up. This is a very nice cooler and it works great. I'll give Van Amberg a call right now. Yeah, Liz, it's Louis Skibo calling. Liz is putting me on with Mike, so I'm going to have a chat with Mike. He's the cooler expert. Hey Mike, it's Louis Skibo with PowerModz. Good. I got a quick question for you. Now, I ordered that U-cooler from you, and we put it on our ZX chassis. Now, I've pulled it off the ZX chassis. I'm putting it on a Rev chassis, which has the flip up in the back. Now, am I okay to kink this cooler? Okay, I am. Okay, it's soft enough. It's a soft extrusion. I can bend it, no problem. Yeah, okay, right on. Well, that's great. Thanks very much. You're on camera here. I'm shooting another video series on this Rev buildup, so right on. Well, thanks very much, Mike. Any tips for bending it? We're just going to put it in the press and make a little... Well, thank you very much for your time. Okay, Mike, talk to you again. Right on. So nice talking to Mike. They're a great bunch of people to talk to and work with. Now, he says that the extrusion is soft enough that it can take a bend, no problem. But don't bend it in the press. We were going to bend it in the press here. He said if you use a press, it tends to put a bit of a W into it, and you don't want that. We want more of a V. So we said to use a brake, like a metal brake, to bend it. So that's no problem. I'll bring it to my friend. We'll kink it up a little bit. We'll figure out what kind of an angle we have on it. Okay, that's all I can do for today. You know, we got quite a bit done here. I'm pretty happy. This is time-intensive kind of stuff, measuring, drilling, riveting, and all that. But we got a lot done. I'm pretty happy. Tomorrow I'll kink up this U-cooler, make it fit in there, finish up the sides. I've been contacted by a nice company. They've offered to cut out the plates for us on the sides here, so we're going to make a nice little design. We're going to do that. I've got lots of cool stuff going on this sled, so I got to thank you for coming again. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and come back again because we have more cool videos coming up. Thanks very much for watching.